Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of November 30th through December 6th of 2020. All right, so this week we have a lot of shifts and changes taking place with the planets. First of all, on Monday, we do have that lunar eclipse, so it is a good start to the week to do a status check. How is our grounded, resourceful side with Taurus? Looking at things in terms of our inner resources and also external resources. Looking at things in terms of inner abundance and our external abundance, and how can we further develop this inner and outer abundance and resources in our life. And so it makes it a really good week for incorporating this sort of grounded approach into things. But lots of shifts and changes. Venus is going into Libra on Tuesday, coming out of a much more uncomfortable area of Virgo. So themes really shift and finalize regarding the improvement and refinement and perfection kind of thing, work and all this, and now go into a much more comfortable area for Venus, which is about cooperation, harmony, mutuality. Our relationship area does get that dose of balance, fairness, and probably easier just in general with Venus and dignity in Libra. Around Wednesday, Mercury goes into deep Scorpio to join up with the Sun. So it is this reminder that it is still a deep time. It is still a time of seeing what our deeper values are, doing things that involve personal empowerment and transformation, and maybe even some healing. And that's grounding all of that Taurus sort of energy. All right, so we have this going on, and of course some minor aspects, but a lot of it is in regards to these shifts and changes. So let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here is the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting with Monday, November 30th through Sunday, December 6th. And again, if you are new to this channel, definitely check out that link down below. We are using the visible sky, which is very different from mainstream astrology, including Vedic astrology. The signs change, and a good example is the lunar eclipse. If you're expecting me to say that the lunar eclipse was in Gemini, it is, in fact, in the constellation Taurus if you were to go and look visibly at the sky or use one of those apps to see it. So this does change the signs. We're using the actual visible sky here called True Sidereal Astrology. If you are new, definitely check out that link down below for more information. All right, so all in all, definitely a week of shifts and changes with these planets changing signs. As you can see here, when it comes to the aspects, no major strong aspects this week that are really prompting any major sort of catalysts or pressure or anything challenging us collectively too much. I think a lot of it is just shifts of perspective and some changes. So one of which is the lunar eclipse on Monday. This is the heightened phase of the cycle. It's great to do a status check. And in this case with our life path, because it's an eclipse. And in the context of really the past 6 months. And how has our, in this case, Taurus side been going? How is our inner and outer resources? Inner strength, inner stability, also our external resources, abundance, nature, beauty, comforts, right? How are these inner and outer resources? How is our inner and outer abundance in our life? And with this awareness, we'll probably make some shifts and changes, as all lunar eclipse and full moons are about, and how to incorporate it, because this week is going to be great for incorporating any shifts of perspectives that do happen from earlier in the week. And it's all about implementing as we get into the disseminating phase of implementing these insights for the full week. Now, also in terms of these, changes, we do have Venus finishing up improvement-oriented Virgo, right? We're now finalizing with all that perfection, work, improvement kind of stuff, which has really been the theme these past few months. Now, Venus leaving, Venus is debilitated in Virgo, not very comfortable, and going into dignity where she is comfortable. And so our relationships and our enjoyments in life probably just getting a dose of a little bit more easier energy, collectively speaking. Of course, we all have our own separate charts. You want to look at your unique chart, but collectively, I think relationships and values going into a much more easier area. So Tuesday onward, do give it some time, but there is a shift of value in terms of fairness with Libra, what's right, what's just, what's balanced, and probably a little bit more moderation when it comes to the enjoyments of life in general. But our minds have already been here. We've had Mercury in Libra, so it's been great to be thinking about, what is fair and what is balanced and how to bring in more balance into our life. So that's still good to do. So we do get that extra added Libra energy once, Venus starts to enter into there on Tuesday. But I do want to mention that, earlier in the week with that lunar eclipse, Mercury will be in good harmony with Saturn. So our minds, what we're thinking about, can be quite grounded. In fact, it could be maybe very productive or grounding kind of early part of the week if there's anything you want to channel your mind or your communications into intentionally. Now, sextiles do require intention, but it is certainly available there these first couple days. All right, so lunar eclipse, heightened energy, shifts of perspective, grounded mind. On Tuesday, shift of values, going into more balance and fairness. Things may be easing up a little bit when it comes to the enjoyments and relationship energies of life. And then the next major thing will be on Wednesday. Mercury will be joining up with the sun in deep Scorpio. So Mercury leaving Libra when Venus enters and going into depth. So our minds are going into the underworld, let's say. We've already been focused on it, but now we get that mind perspective of it. So really good for things like research, uncovering things, maybe deeper perspectives just in general. When it comes to communication, maybe deeper communication. So our minds are shifting into the depths, into the truth, right? And if there's anything you do want to set intentions with, I think it's great to work with it, especially like we said, because it's grounding or at least balancing out a lot of that earthy energy of Taurus, this status check that we're doing with our resources and our self-reliance and more grounding energies of life. Because like I was saying, we do have to know what our deeper values are, and Mercury and Scorpio is going to help us do this, help us see what really matters, how to get to the core of things, how to excavate, bring things to the surface, both within ourselves and with life and even in our relationships through more trust or intimacy, right? So really good to get into that deeper energy, which will be added once we get to Wednesday onwards when Mercury starts to join the sun there. Now, also around Wednesday, the moon will be going into Gemini. So really Wednesday and Thursday, a great couple of days for just practical stuff, mental stuff, Mercury kind of stuff, learning, thinking, communication, maybe some writing. Definitely a kind of mercurial kind of week in that sense in terms of these changes. Now, once we do get to the Friday time period, which will be the 4th here, the moon will be going into Cancer. So that'll be a great prelude to the weekend to maybe connect to a little more of the private life, maybe home and family, reflect on the past a little bit, more of the softer elements of life. And Mercury will be trining up to Chiron, so maybe some healing could be good here, maybe around Friday, early Saturday. Anything we do want to read about healing, maybe learn, or just the act of reading or learning could be very healing and therapeutic. Maybe some of those communications could be therapeutic as well with that one. But the main emphasis over the weekend is going to be the Leo energy, at least the later part. So once we get into later Saturday and all of Sunday, the moon will be going into more expressive Leo, which is great for playfulness, some fun, getting into some of that fire kind of energy. And this might be a little bit challenging to develop because this is the 3rd quarter, and it means that the sun and moon are in very different signs. While it is a time of depth and truth, how can we incorporate some of that more serious, deeper energy into our self-expression, into our playful self, right? How to bring that light with the water, the fire and the water. Although fire and water don't really go well together, obviously when we do put them together in constructive and intentional ways, it does create that sort of steam, right? It does create very powerful energy. What's more powerful than expressing ourselves in deep and vulnerable ways, right? Or how to create with the more deeper energies of life. And what's more important, to see the lighter side and to shine that light of consciousness on the deeper side and healing and all this. So good to combine that fire and water here over the weekend. And I think it's going to be generally, collectively, a great weekend in terms of enjoyments and relationships with Venus trining Neptune. Neptune is that Piscean energy, that receptive, intuitive, imaginative, creative energy. And that comes through very supportively in our enjoyments, in our relationships, maybe a bit compassionate, understanding, receptive just in general. So some nice energy there finishing up the week, but good to challenge ourselves again with the 3rd quarter moon, how to bring in that depth with self-expression, I think is great. All right, everyone. So that is the week in a nutshell. Most important thing, lunar eclipse, Monday, status check, incorporating more of this grounded resourcefulness, balancing that out with depth and the deeper values of life. Probably having a grounded mind around Monday. And then as we do get into Tuesday, a shift of values going into what's balance, what's going to bring more balance into our life, into our interpersonal life, and into life itself. Once we get to the Wednesday time period, Mercury will start to go into deep Scorpio to join up with the sun, involving that depth and truth and all that good stuff there. And then a little bit of water energy around Friday into Saturday with some healing, maybe some emotional stuff, home, protective life. And then the later part of the weekend, fun, incorporating that with depth and also some receptivity when it comes to those enjoyments, values, and interpersonal things. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that like button if you haven't yet. If you're not yet signed up for MTZ Insiders, definitely check out the link down below for that. It is a newsletter where you do get extra videos and content, either not released on YouTube or released much earlier than YouTube. So do check that out. It does support the work, and I think you'll find it valuable. So again, thank you so much, everyone, for all of your support, and I will see you all next time for the next astrology forecast. Take care.